to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This week I'm not shaved because school's over, so who cares, right? Alright, so pens I have for you this week: a Waterman Hemisphere with Bay State Blue, had so many people tell me how to pronounce this, Montblanc 32. No, I'm not going to say 32 in French. A Esterbrook. This is a new Esterbrook, actually. It's called an Esterbrook Nostalgia. Penol Ambassador Special. An Aurora Duocart. Let's see, what is this called? Some kind of a sty pen, anyway. Not seeing it in my list. Sty pen, something or other. And anyway, this guy's actually related to Bic, as it turns out. This here, a Platinum 3777, I think that's too many sevens. 6, a Pilot Custom 374. Wow, 743. A Lamy 2000, a Pelikan 400 NN, a Pelikan 10 MK, a Columbus 65, and a Lamy 27E. So let's take a closer look at these pens. All right, let's start with Bay State Blue. So today is March 26th. And I'm writing my first entry with a Waterman Hemisphere. Not vintage or anything, but it's a pretty decent pen. And it's, most importantly, it's worked very well with Noodler's Bay State Blue. And if I sound a little different this week, it's because I'm still playing with the gain. Come on. Still playing with the gain on my microphone. Alright, so Waterman Hemisphere. Nice plain blue workaday pen. Next pen I want to show you. I plan to review this week. This is a Columbus 65. It's supposedly the last nice pen made by Columbus, except I looked on their website. Now they make some nice pens, so I don't know. Semi-hooded nib, I guess. Actually, this is a full-size nib that's hidden under the hood, so I guess that makes it semi-hooded. That is just such an attractive ink. I love Black Swan and Australian Rose. My next pen for you will be writing in blue. This is a Pelikan MK10, I am told. And it does seem to, if it sits, it won't write until I hold it vertical, and then it writes. Pelikan, if I pronounce it properly, probably. And the ink is Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki. This is just one of those plain black, unassuming pens that I like. And supposedly it's well behaved on an airplane, but I have not tested that. Let's see. Here's another one of those plain black slim pens I like. Looks a lot alike, actually. This is a Montblanc 32. Actually, I believe these are approximately the same age, this Pelikan and this Montblanc. What is this ink? Iroshizuku Yamabudo. Just something classy about these slim black pens, and I really enjoy that. I can't even explain it. I mean, this is not a pen that would catch my eye, but these are the pens I like. Not that they all look like that, because check out this fancy looking Esterbrook. So this is a modern pen. Apparently the company has come back. I looked at their offerings. Honestly, some of them looked like Noodler's acrylic pens. Some of them didn't appeal at all. This one appealed, though. So this is an Esterbrook. Wow. Nostalgia. I promise this is not black ink. Sure looks black though, doesn't it? The ink is actually Rohrer and Klingner. Alt Bordeaux. That looks like a blackish purple to me. I don't know about you. And on the screen, I see it even looks more so. I'll just show you my ink journal. I don't know. Is it sitting in the pen too long? I don't understand this. Or is it a reaction to the paper? So, well, let's see. Interesting. I'm going to have to research that ink. That is something I cannot explain. Maybe this ink ages. Like fine wine or something. They tell me you're not supposed to leave your red wine, or white wine, I guess, exposed to oxygen too long or it oxidizes. I like to get the boxed wine because then you don't... I mean, I know that makes me sound like redneck boy, but the nice thing about a box is it's sealed. You know, there are junky boxed wines and good boxed wines, but it stays sealed so it's not exposed to the oxygen. So a box can last for a month. You don't have to be guzzling wine down really fast just so it doesn't go bad. All right, and nothing to do with wine. Here's another fun pen. This is a Danish Penol Ambassador. And I forgot the D. There we go. And the ink is Sailor, Gentle, Epinard, which is apparently French for Spanish. Or, I'm sorry, French for spinach. Wow. And I did look up how to pronounce it. Epinard, something like that. Google Translate is your friend if you're looking up how to pronounce some things. All right, and speaking of Sailor inks, Platinum 3776. Get the correct number of sevens this time. And this is a music nib. And the ink is Sailor, Gentle, Peiche. And you will see on Monday, I may have put that marked the wrong way, but I don't care. You'll see on Monday why I have this ink. Because I'll finally get that notebook video done, because I have my voice back, I have my health back, I have my time back. I've got lots of time back because it's summer! And graduation is Sunday, so I'll go there and make sure that none of them are coming back, and then freedom! Alrighty. Let's see. One more that's not black, and then we'll look at a whole bunch of black pens. Oh, yeah, this is a black pen too, but the ink is not. So this is a Pilot Custom 743. And the nib in it is a Falcon nib, which is awesome. I know people say it doesn't flex like a European flex. Well, Japanese writing is a series of short strokes, so okay, yeah, it will run out of ink if you try and write European style writing with lots of flexing, but it actually does just fine for me. I've never had trouble with it drying up, so. But you keep in mind the market that it's for. All right, so on that note, the ink in it is Sailor, Gentle, Grenade, which is also apparently a French word, but I forgot what it stands for, or what it means. You'll never guess what pêche means. It means peach. All right, now here's a little puppy. Ooh, ooh, I ordered this a long, long, long time ago. Like, oh, was it April, I think. And it just arrived today. This is a remake of a classic pen. This is an Aurora Duocart, which in turn is based off of the Aurora 88. And I have to say, it's a steel nib, but what a smooth steel nib. I mean, I think of Aurora pens as having a lot of feedback. Not this one. This is smooth and attractive. And yeah, it's a cartridge converter pen. That's kind of what Duocart was known for. It was one of the early cartridge converter pens. In fact, the name Duocart comes because it used to be able to hold 2 ink cartridges. Now, the Aurora cartridges, one did come in the box, but I don't like cartridges if I don't have to. The modern cartridges are longer and you can't fit 2 in there, and it's not exactly the vintage pen. It's just meant to look like it. But I like it. I'll be doing a review down the road someday. This is a sty pen. It's capped. And I have not written with this in a while, so I'm curious to see what happens here. I just have too many pens inked in black. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save this one for last for reasons that I'll explain here in a second. So let's go with the Lamy 2000, which I also have not written with all week. Oh, look at that. You wonder why I love this pen? Starts like a champ. This ink is Lamy Black. This, I'll save that one too. Sorry, this is a beautiful, beautiful Pelikan. What you're looking at here, the reason I wanted to group these this way, these are really my 3 finalists for black, along with kind of as a different application, my the platinum carbon black. The reason platinum carbon black is if I need a very permanent black. None of these are particularly permanent. I mean, this is the darkest, behaves mostly pretty well. This is actually very well behaved. This is very well behaved. I like all 3 of these for different reasons, which when I do my black video, I'll have to talk about why. And this is where I'm struggling to figure out a finalist. Yeah, definitely the best color in the Aurora Black, best bottle in the Lamy Black, and kind of best overall. I don't like the color as well, but it behaves well as this Pelikan Brilliant Black. So I'm making up my mind there. Now I'm going to write with 2 more black inks, but these are not finalists, of course. This, finally, is that sty pen. So, retractable nib. And I'm told that this is an old Bic design. And it also apparently does not avoid drying up real well. Ooh, maybe I won't be writing. I am wiping it off over here on the side. Alright, I give up. It's not writing. It dried up. Apparently it can't sit for a week, and you don't want to watch me mess with it. So we'll just set it aside. And my last one, which has been kind of a fun pen. All my pen pals that I've written to this week are going to see writing samples of this. This is a vintage pen. Probably from the 50s. It's a Lamy. There's a nice ink window there. Give you some appreciation. And the nib in it is what they call an oblique broad, which means it's cut at an angle and it's broad. The ink in this one is just not a black that was ever a serious contender. Just since I was buying samples of inks, I decided to buy a sample of this one too. Montegrappa. And I don't know if they've changed their formulation as they've changed up their ink line. So I don't know if this is new formulation black, old formulation black, or if there's no change. But there you go. Those are the pens that are in use. And I just have to say, that's a lot of pens! But it's summer. I have free time to write, except for when I'm working on my garden, working on my house, cleaning up my classroom after that week of being sick, although I am making serious progress on that, and finishing up the yearbook, because I am advisor to that. In fact, I'm going to, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you one of my projects with that. Alright, so let's set that aside. Now, I do know people. One of my pen pals, I don't even know if she knows they have a channel, sent me something nice. She is decluttering. So what she did is she sent me quite the collection of stuff. Now, I don't know if I'll go through the whole thing here with you. Let me pull this back a little further. But I'll just show you a few things in it. There is really tiny tape. That's so interesting. A body for an Esterbrook. Looks like it must have been a desk pen. Yeah, I could screw a Esterbrook nib into it right now. They would fit. I'm lacking a cap, so that's a bit of a problem. Some interesting pens, like this guy. It says on the side here, HEMA 56. I think with a little work, this one might be an interesting pen. I don't know what it is. I need to research it. I also, I thought it would be a piston pen when I see this in there, and yet I can find no way to turn the piston. So definitely, oh, there we go. I just was being too gentle, apparently. Alright, so I would say perhaps there's a piece missing in here. Alright, so I'll figure that out down the road. So someday you'll see this pen again, hopefully. It is kind of attractive. Let's see. Commonwealth Edison Company? No, not Edison pens. Don't be silly. This is an Esterbrook. With an Esterbrook nib. I bet this pen will work. We'll see. Ooh, that feels a little stiff. I might have to check out the condition of the sack. Might need resacking, who knows. This is kind of fun. Some pens were sold with ring tops. This is... I don't know what. But the nib on it says Parker Pen, made in USA. So that's interesting. I'll have to look up what this thing is. And it seems to have a little flex to it, whatever it is. But I also see that the nib is bent. The tines are doing this, which you couldn't tell on the screen. So, and it's definitely seen some sunlight or else heat. Actually, I'll bet that's heat. That's kind of what celluloid does if you overheat it. Not that I would know from trying to restore a pen. see, this little treasure. Needs a new nib. Sack looks like it's in decent shape. So I'll play with that a little. Oh, doesn't fit real tightly there, so I'll have to figure that out. Maybe this is one that needs a little shellac or something. I don't like shellacking, but maybe that's one that needs it. This one caught my eye. It's just kind of different looking. It doesn't look like a top tier pen, whatever it is. The nib says 5th Avenue. I don't know if you can hear that. There's loose stuff inside there, so I'm pretty sure the sack is toast. Here's a pretty pen. I feel like it might be missing a part, but this is a Waterman's something or other. Screw cap. Looks like a decently flexible nib. Nice finish on it. Don't know what it is, again. I feel like there should be another piece up here, but I don't know. Maybe it used to be a ring top. I really have no idea. But gosh, that thing's pretty. Yeah, and that I can hear bits and pieces of sack inside that one too. This looks a little newer. I see Waterman's written on the cap. Oh, I see a problem. So who knows if I'll make much use of this pen, but maybe it'll be parts. You know, just because you have the... Yeah. Just because you have the pen doesn't mean you can make something of it. Parts, possibly. This is cool, because I used to have one of these that broke, and TWSBI could not send me a replacement blue barrel, so I gave up on them. But hey, because I loved this blue color. Ooh, and it looks like maybe it's not put together properly, or possibly I'll be taking parts from my own. I don't know. We'll make something out of it yet. Alrighty, what other treasures? This is a Waterman's again. I hear lots of bits and pieces twinkling around in there. Oh, that's kind of... actually kind of like that. That's attractive. The nib feels a little stiffer than the others I looked at, but definitely got some crud growing on it. This guy will take some cleaning, I think. A Parker, must be an early converter. It's kind of like the thing that goes around the one in the 51, but not. I think that's a needle for this syringe. Interesting. This is apparently missing its cap and not fitting together properly. On the side here it says Unbreakable LeBoeuf Fountain Pen Company, Springfield, Massachusetts. Patent May 1919. Ooh. So, LeBoeuf, I probably butchered that too. That sounds French. Looks French. So I may have to look, see, someday maybe I'll run into a cap for this guy. No cap here. This is a W.A. Schaefer company. It's got some kind of like chewing at the ends. Ew. We'll unscrew the cap here. Oh. Alright. I don't hear any sound, so maybe it's in pretty good shape. I don't know what to do about the bite marks, but somebody was hungry. Oh, and this really doesn't want to come off. Okay, so I don't feel like fighting with it right now, so I'll just leave it until I figure out what that pen is. This is striking. The nib, I feel like something is missing here, and it's definitely kind of scratchy. It's a Schaefer of some kind. So it's like they broke off the nib, so maybe I can grind the end. I don't know what this is. And we'll see. Interesting. Three more, sorry. This is a Schaefer. I don't know if something was inserted into the ends. Ooh! And this nib looks a lot like these guys that are in this tube. This has an F on it for fine. I'll have to look this up. I'm curious what this is. Another one that's... I'll bet it takes a cartridge. Here is, I'm going to guess, Servo, S-E-R-V-O. That's I was going to guess Waterman's, but I was wrong. Another one with a ring top. Something is loose inside of it, so I think I'll be doing some work there. That nib, oh my gosh, is that dirty. So we'll have to do some work, but nice flexy thing. Cute. I'm pretty sure this pen's going to be written with posted when I finally get it working. This is a bent Aurora nib. One of the steel ones, kind of like in the, oh, I don't know, the style, and what's the other one that's out that's cheaper? I can't remember. Anyway, one more pen here. This is a Schaefer's. I like this old packaging. Oh, there's a little doohickey in here. Oh, instructions on how to fill it. I will take that apart more carefully later. The pen itself has a rather nice finish. It looks like this one was chewed upon the ends also. Ew. If you have a nice pen, please don't chew it. Chewing your Bic. But Schaefer's. Oh, we know who did it. Carmen Jordan. Carmen, you're a bad person for chewing on your Schaefer. And a nib. Not like a super flexible nib, but this one might even be in decent shape. The sack. Oh, no. I can't even pull the lever. And I'm not going to force it. So I'll probably take this one apart and do some cleaning. I don't know what to do about the chewing. I've never had a pen that had chewing on it before. Ew. So, yeah, I thank you for that. Like I said, I don't know if she knows that I have a channel. But I do. So, yeah, expect to see some of those pens again down the road now that I have time to work on them. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to show you, I've been working on a yearbook. We got this idea of doing sort of a vintage-looking yearbook. Not religiously vintage, just sort of vintage, hinty-ish thing. Anyway, so we found a vintage yearbook that had a drawing of a guy taking a photograph with an old film camera, just a line drawing, but then the film spooling out of the camera and twirling around, going off, and each little frame in the film had a photograph in it. And we thought, wouldn't that make a cool cover if we could do that? So that's what I've been doing. Now, I won't tell you how many hours of work it took, but what you can see here, this is one of the spools of film I made. These are all photographs that I took. This is not easy to do, at least with software we have. I used GIMP, which is a piece of open source software. It's kind of like an open source version of Photoshop. And I was able to really easily and quickly put all the images together into a piece of film. It's bending the film, and making this whole, making it transparent. The hole's transparent and everything around the film transparent. That was a bugger. But bending the film especially, because the transparent's easy. I had to use, what was it called? Caged transform. You select around it with a whole bunch of straight lines, and then you can pull on the dots where the straight lines join, and that causes the image to do this or this, and whatever. And not distort it too badly. I was pretty happy with it. There is actually a curve distortion under this, under the scripts or filters. I did try that, but the results are god awful. So this turned out pretty well. I found out my laptop definitely has a memory limit because once I figured out how to do it, the biggest thing was sitting there waiting for the whole piece of film to get curved and bent. When I had all the pictures on one single piece of film, it just wouldn't go. And that was part of it, finding out the limits on the memory of my computer for making these sorts of images. But it was a challenge. It was an interesting challenge. We got it done. I'm very happy with the results. So our resulting cover, I won't show it to you now, partly because I want to stay a surprise for local viewers if there are any. But we're going to intertwine the two pieces of film. We don't have the drawing of a guy taking a picture, but we do have a nice piece of clip art that's free to use from the software of a old-fashioned, well, I shouldn't say old-fashioned, 1970s, 1960s style film camera. And we're going to throw that on there. And we were talking, how many of our students actually know what film is? And I'm not that old. I'm only 41, but yeah, I grew up in a different world from my students because my parents had a dark room. How many of my students have parents with a dark room? So anyway, I hope that was interesting. Hope it was useful. Thank you for watching. I'll add one other thing. This weekend I'm doing a driving video. It was supposed to be. I started to record the narration about vintage pens and why I like them. And I realized, oh, yeah, this is not really conducive to driving because I want visuals. So, yeah, Sunday's driving video is not going to be a driving video. It'll be a me holding up vintage pens video. But I think it'll be fun. And then after that, I'm still kind of writing an outline for it. It was going to be this week, but I just didn't get it done. Too many things on my vacation to do. But I want to do kind of like a graduation video thingy as a driving video. So we'll see where that goes. So anyway, I thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.